I'm gonna do my best to keep running with this train of thought, and I didn't mean to be flippant by mentioning serial killers or victimization of children by any means, but I was actually just wanting to point out an example of perceptual bias and how that's a case in point of the worst case, maybe a rare case of where a person is employing their very advantages no less than their perceptual advantage, which is a significant and maybe decisive advantage in many scopes of life, critical and fatal. And I don't mean fatal necessarily in a bad way, but some of the opportunities to live and exist and also die are a function of our appearance. And so what I wanted to say is that if you appreciate Jeffrey Dahmer, but also the respect that he receives to this day, and I wouldn't say that he has a bad name, an infamous, or he had maybe an infamous, but he doesn't have a he doesn't have like I would say you wouldn't even say Jeffrey Dahmer has a bad name. You say that name and there's a certain ring in that. And that's just an example of how people straight overlook the fact that he victimized children. Now you take a person that doesn't have his background or appearance, and they victimize children, maybe not to the point of murdering them, but they victimize children, and then they go to be locked away, and a lot of them are not getting out of that because there's going to be hell to pay for victimizing children. But a lot of people would look right past the fact that children were among Jeffrey Dahmer's victims. And that wasn't the main point of the message, but the point of the message was the perceptual bias. So I was doing a delivery today. I do a lot of deliveries where I go, and sometimes you actually don't know exactly what you're going to get from a person when you're taking a delivery off them, because it's similar to saying hello. Where I live at is that we live in something called a plural society, which is that you have different have different backgrounds, different cultures, and also different values and etiquette around many things. So a person can you come into contact with a person, and engaging them, acknowledging them can be favorable, or it can be not appreciated, or ignoring them can be favorable or not appreciated. But there's a little bit of ambivalence in exactly how you do or don't engage a person. I had a coworker when I was a school bus driver, and he was saying that there's an actual word for that, for cultures that have a different amount of diversity, but also diversity of pluralism. So pluralism is like different cultures and people that are both competing and collaborating at the same time, because a lot of different people with different backgrounds, your family, your culture, your ethnicity, are somewhat a little bit at odds with other people of the same and different background, but also collaborate. And so it actually somehow makes an environment, I think, more dynamic and viable. Where I live is one of the strongest economies as far as per state, and some of that has actually become because of the very diversity and work ethic of people that make up the environment. But I had a coworker that said that if you appreciate the way people engage in banter in New York City, there's profound social psychological dynamics that are invoked by that degree of diversity, but also proximity, as you have in New York City. And then you go to where I am, which is a large metropolitan area, by no means close to New York City, nor as close like is per square mile, for capita per square mile. And you have a different degree of that ambivalence, and also what the social implications of that, which sometimes people in your more diverse and tightly closed quarters like that I think they may be more they may be more aloof, but also more quicker to engage and use more of a shorthand of communication in the most simple, blunt communication. Hey man, what are you doing parking there, man? You're like a little bit different than you go to somewhere a little bit slower, and it's going to be a different engagement. But all I meant to say is that so sometimes you actually don't know how exactly to engage a person or not to, even as honest and well-meaning as you may be. But when I do these deliveries, a lot of times people will be like, "Oh yeah, so so here you go, it's all good, man. Catch you later." They figure like, okay, well, you at least know the person's name, so the order must be associated with your phone, so you must be on the hook for it. You must be responsible for it. But other people are like, please confirm it. I need you to confirm that right now. And so but I'm normally wise to that, so I'm actually, before they get a chance to ask me to confirm it, I'm already confirming it in front of them. So I had a woman give me an order, and so as soon as she would give it to me, I already had my phone trained on her. That means pointed at her, and I was confirming it for her in front of her. And she said, please confirm it. So what she's saying is, please do your job, because it's actually my job to confirm the order. So she's saying, please do your job as I'm doing my job. But you take a person that's with my appearance, but I don't know that she would have engaged or not engaged a person like Jeffrey Dahmer to walk in there the same way, because we really do get quite stark different treatment as an appearance. That might actually be what's so brutal about getting your heart broken by someone, is that, so you're this to me, you were, so we had a cool experience, but only so cool of an experience, and you had that way cooler of an experience with another person, or maybe you didn't have a cooler experience, but you were that different to another person than you are to me. Whether it's not that someone's intending that consciously, but people really are different people to different people. It's incredible, but it can also be very disheartening when we don't get a certain engagement despite our best efforts or what we would like. But all I meant to say is that so that's I was thinking about that today with that delivery of the implicit bias and favoritism that we get as a function of appearance. It actually might show naivety on the part of a person like that at that window. That would she, as sure as she is that I'm sketchy by my appearance, would she be that sure of how dangerous someone is that actually appears a different way, but actually might mean a person something different, as we can imagine a person like Jeffrey Dahmer would if they were walking in there to this day. But and again, I don't mean to make light of that type of history or the pain that people experience as a function of meeting him or people like that. But all I meant to say is that so a lot of times we actually so you take a person like Jeffrey Dahmer, so he must have been getting that kind of favoritism a lot of his life, and so you would wonder, so did he put on the air in the appearance of being well put together and tame to get the trust that he would need from other people to victimize them? Did he curate that and develop that with the intention of hurting people, or did people show him so much of their neck? And that's actually across man, woman, and child, because I've noticed working with children as a school bus driver, that even children will respond to adults differently according to the appearance of an adult, not necessarily according to what that adult is capable of or means to a person, but just simply your first perception and instinct of how acceptable or respectable a person would appear to be to other people is a lot of how we engage a particular person. And that's where I've come to appreciate that maybe in our modern iteration of society, at least where I'm at, marginalization and even prejudice is not exactly a function of ethnicity or a background in itself. It's more so a function of how acceptable does a person appear to be to other people, and that's how I feel about that person. So you can have like a lot of times like sometimes I had, before I had this hairdo and I had like my blonde extensions, and I'd be walking by and I can hear like women from like a distance, like maybe like walking over overpass, and they're like damn, he's hot. Like I sound asinine giving myself imitating myself getting a compliment like that. But I had that happen like maybe 10 times with my last hair iteration and hairdo, where I was hearing like women like actually talking to themselves like oh damn, he's hot right there, like that dude's hot. But the thing is that that's about as far as I get with it, because if I actually come closer, like sometimes, and I had actually, when I had my hair like that, I had a woman give me a phone number out a drive-through window with her manager standing right there, but when a woman will get to know me, if I get close enough to a woman, it's like, well yeah, this guy might look like this and that, but you can perceive in them that they have some, even to curate an appearance like that, or to have that manner of speaking, or that manner of insight, and not to give myself a pat on the back, or that level of skill, there would have to be some kind of marginalization or something extreme about their background that's not exactly status quo, that's not exactly kosher. And I don't mean to say that I don't mean to mock religion by using the word kosher, but what I mean is that it's not salient, it's not good to go, it's not even keel in the broader society. It's not authorized, it's not acceptable in the very baseline mundane status value of society. So even as fancy as something may be, it's not still appreciated because it doesn't seem acceptable to other people, is what some of your real marginalization and prejudice might be currently. It's a little bit different than just appearance or ethnicity. That's a little too simple-minded.